I'd like to call the meeting of the Town Council to order. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops serving abroad. Mrs. Panos, the prayer, please.
O Lord, bless thy servants of the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give them quiet minds and hearts so that they may hear thy voice. Help them to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give them strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right. And grant that they have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
What's the echo? Echo.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the meeting has been given to the newspaper and posted in public places. Sorry. Next open public meeting of the council will be held on Monday, December 14th, 2015, at 7:30 p.m. Dr. Anderson.
Present.
Mr. Cahill.
Here.
Mr. Mollis.
Here.
Mrs. Panos.
Here.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Here.
Mrs. Sohar. Here. President Walker. Here. 7 present.
We're going to begin with the approval of the minutes of previous meetings, combined meeting and executive session of November 16th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mrs. Sohor.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cahill. Roll call.
Dr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cahill.
Yes.
Mr. Green. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Abstain.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
President Walker.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
The bill list, Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, President Walker. Bill list combined meeting November 30th, 2015. Accounts payable November 30th, 2015. $1,011,392.91.
Moved by Mrs. Sohor.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cahill. Any questions? Roll call.
Dr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cahill.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
President Walker.
Yes.
7 yes.
Payroll November 20th, 2015. $815,818.09.
Moved by Mrs. Sohor.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cahill. Questions? Roll call.
Dr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cahill.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
President Walker.
Yes.
7 yes.
Payroll overtime, November 20th, 2015, $62,275.
Moved by Mrs. Sohor.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Panos. Mr. Shaw, are you going to do the breakdown?
I'll give it a try. I'm not going to be as animated as Chris is,
Okay.
but I'll give it a try. But as Dr. Anderson indicated, the total payroll overtime is $62,275. Looking at the detail of the overtime, we had some increase in the building departments, subcode officials overtime, because we're down 1 inspector, and we also have a zoning officer working as one of the employee also working as an acting zoning officer. The police in the categories primarily, and I'll go over the detail, but is related to training. There is a overtime increase in the recreation department that was related to the haunted house spectacular event that took place, and so that the overtime in that was related to the event. For police department, the total overtime is $45,092.33. Of that, the $44,206.36 is for the sworn officers. When you deduct the ETO of $12,551.42, the net overtime is $31,654.94. And as I indicated earlier, is primarily related to training, field maintenance, field training and activities, active shooter training, and we also have 2 patrol officers missing.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Shaw about the overtime?
Where'd they go?
They're not missing.
They're out, I'm sorry.
Any questions for Mr. Shaw? Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes,
7 yes.
That concludes the bill list.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Public hearing and ordinances for second reading. H1, Release Reduction Performance Guarantee Outdoor Media Systems LLC, application number 17-14P, block 16002, lot 7. Is anyone here to speak on this? Oh, you have to, you could either, if you sit, you have to use that mic, and if you stand, that you want to sit, it's up to you.
Kevin Burke from Outdoor Media Systems. Not here to speak, just here to represent the firm.
Anyone have any questions on this application?
Nice meeting.
No? Oh, the engineer's here. Nicole, do you have any questions about this application? Would you like to come forward? The outdoor media systems. No exceptions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I think we have to go to the public.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Is anyone here from the public wish to speak on this? Okay, I'll close the public portion. Do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Cahill,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Panos. Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Abstain?
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes to move.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes,
6 yes, 1 abstention.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor.
Next, preliminary public comments to council subject to the following conditions and restrictions. Has anyone signed up to speak tonight?
Yes.
During the preliminary public portion of the meeting, any person may address the Township Council on one subject for a maximum period of 5 minutes. Any such person desiring to speak during the preliminary public portion shall first sign a list maintained by the Township Clerk for such purpose. Comments during the preliminary public comment portion of the meeting shall not encompass second reading ordinances or any other matter for which comment or a public hearing is to occur at the meeting.
Philip McGovern?
My name is Philip McGovern. I live at 201 Yorkshire Court in Society Hill. I visited a friend on Hilliard Road on Sunday, and the road is in terrible shape. My friend commented that the houses shake when trucks go by the road. And Englishtown Road, when you're leaving Hilliard Road, is in the same bad state of repair. A big hole when you make the turn. Just to bring it to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern.
I'd like to address that. That's in my ward.
Go ahead. Are you going to check into it?
All right. I never had any complaints from the residents, so please have them call me, Phil. Thank you.
Next.
Tony Pescetti? Is Tony here?
I don't see him.
I don't see him. Okay. Anita Greenberg-Belli?
Hi, Anita Greenberg Belli, 447 Ticetown Road, Old Bridge, New Jersey. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Anderson for his years of service as a councilman, and also I want to wish Reggie Butler well. I know he's watching the meeting, and we're all grateful and thankful that he is getting better and stronger, so we hope to see him soon. But actually what I want to talk to you about is at the last council meeting, Mr. Rosencrantz talked about an appointment to the MUA. Since Councilman Cahill resigned due to a new position that he got, he couldn't fulfill his duty there. And I just wanted to say that I spoke to the executive director and the chair, and there's no urgency in filling this seat, as it is an alternate position. Also, I would like to say that there's no urgency, and it does not, deter the function and the duties, for the operation of the MUA. But besides that, I just won in the past election, and I ran a campaign on honesty, integrity, and transparency. And I feel that I would like all appointments to be held till the January reorganization meeting. I feel that I've earned that right to have a say. What has gone on in the past is the past, and I want to have a voice in moving forward with these appointments. And when I look at the people that will be applying for positions, and especially in a position where there is a benefit package, there's many times that people don't accept the benefit package. Mr. Cahill didn't from the MUA. I've served on the MUA, and I don't take the benefit package at all. And I want to see if that is one of the reasons, an appointment is going to be made if they're in need of the benefit package. So those are some of the things that I want to address. And really, I think at this time, it behooves the this administration, after just coming off an election, that we do wait for the appointment till after January 1st at the reorganization meeting. And I hope that will be adhered to. Thank you.
Susan Blumig?
I stand here and talk? Yeah.
Sure. You'd have to give your name and address.
Susan Blumig, 234 Morganville Road, Mattawan. I heard about this MUA appointment also, and I'd like to have a better understanding of it. Is this going to be done so that people in the public can submit their resumes for this job?
Yes. It has to be advertised, and we have to receive resumes and review them.
And how long do you have after the advertisement to submit your resume? Approximately.
About a month, we usually give it.
Okay. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in that I think it should be opened up to the public. I don't think it should be a backroom deal, because a lot of people in this town, I worked on the campaign and I made phone calls to people and I put my name out there and said that this was going to be a great council and everybody was going to work together. And I hope that's going to happen, because otherwise we might have just elected Democrats. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it? Okay, and I'll close the public portion. Council member comments? Any comments?
Yes. First off, I don't believe I asked for any appointments last week. I did ask for resumes, and I did ask Council President if she would ask for resumes to the general public. That being said, there's a code in the township, there's a code for the township that states, for the purpose of receiving resumes, the council president shall announce to the council and the public any vacancies or impending vacancies or authority, boards, commissions, or committees for which the council has appointment powers. The council president shall give copies of resumes to the council at the regular agenda meeting prior to the public meeting, at which point they are to be voted on. That's in the township code. I'm not making anything up. So I was just asking that to be followed. So I would ask again if that could be followed, if you could request resumes from the public.
I'm going to request them, and the appointment will be made when the new council is seated. And I don't understand your urgency. I have spoken to the director of the MUA, the chair of the MUA. There's one more MUA meeting, and they have 6 current commissioners. They only need 3 to have a meeting. I just want to know what your urgency is.
The urgency is the township code, section 518, paragraph H.
And do you have anybody in mind that you want to put on this board?
When we see the resumes, I'm asking for resumes. I'm not appointing anybody. I'm not asking for anybody to be appointed. And you're going to have to get resumes anyway.
You could speak at the next public part.
And anybody in the township is welcome to submit a resume.
Anyone else?
Can I make a motion that you request resumes?
I second that.
Motion to request resume.
Well, there's a motion on the table and a second.
We don't need a motion. I already spoke to the clerk about it today. We're advertising it tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Why didn't you say that?
I didn't think I needed to say it.
Well, we're on a council. It's open and transparent.
You're not open and transparent. Why are you trying to push this?
I don't know who could predict the future, but I could only assume that there's seats in case, there's alternates, there's this, there's that. That's a full board. There's a purpose to a full board. So,
Well, I remember in past situations, actually when Dr. Greenberg was appointed, we held her appointment for several months. Several months. There are many vacancies on many boards.
well,
I
anyway,
don't
it's
see
being
pushing for
advertised
it.
tomorrow?
It will be advertised tomorrow.
That's a
Yes,
wonderful
Mrs. Zoho.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Dr. Greenberg-Belli's comments were very on point as far as her being a new elected official. And she did thank Dr. Anderson for his years, and that's wonderful. But I think moving forward, she should have a voice in the appointments that are made in the coming year.
There are many vacancies on many other boards currently right now.
Well, then
And
they should have been posted. I don't care.
They
what
are
vacancy it is.
posted.
And advertised.
They are.
Let's be diligent in the duties here. For every post.
And we will ask for resumes, and the appointment will take first, either January 1st or later. We have to have time for resumes to come in, and we have to review them.
So how about the other vacancies? Can I make a motion that if there's a
They
vacancy...
were already advertised. If you go on the website, they're advertised.
Okay, all appointments are now advertised.
Yes,
All open appointments as of tonight and as of tomorrow will be advertised.
yes. Okay, any other council comments?
Did you say you got nine resumes already?
I have 9 resumes.
I thought
never
you said that.
I never said that. I never said anything about resumes.
I'm just asking, did you say it already? I thought I heard it.
No,
All right.
I didn't say anything about resumes. Anybody else have any council comments? Okay, I'll close the council comment portion. Do we have a report from the clerk?
No.
What's that?
Motion and a second, though, you have to
For what?
address that. There was a motion made and seconded. There's a motion and a second, whether you like it or not, there's a motion and a second. I mean, I'll defer to the attorney,
What, through the advertising?
The advertisement.
you have to vote on it.
But I want it very clear. The appointment is not going to take place till January 1st or later. We're giving time for resumes
Oh, okay, I understand, but what was the
We're
motion?
not-
I'm just,
to advertise.
what was the motion that was made? And then there was a second, so we have to vote on that motion.
You made a motion in a second? Yes. Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
Do we have a report from the clerk?
None at this time, thank you.
Do we have a report from the attorney?
None at this time, thank you.
And we have our administrative report. Okay, Mr. Mayor, you're Chris.
Do my best, Mr. Marion impersonation. Thank you all, council. Item number 1, Township request for traffic signal warrant analysis for intersection of New Jersey State Highway Route 34 and Amboy Road. The township has submitted another request to the New Jersey Department of Transportation for traffic signal warrant analysis for the intersection of Route 34 and Amboy Road. Hard copies of the November 10, 2015 letter from the township engineer to the NJDOT Bureau of Traffic Engineering have been forwarded to the township clerks for distribution to the council. Council, as you know, we've been trying to get this intersection for a number of years now. As I said, this
30.
is another attempt. And this will be based on the most recent information we have as far as traffic is concerned, And also that the township, we have committed to 25% of any improvement that would take place at this intersection, as required by the New Jersey DOT. Item number 2, township request for pedestrian safety improvements for an intersection of New Jersey State Highway Route 9 and Old Mill Road. The township has also submitted a request to the NJDOT for pedestrian safety improvements at the intersection of Route 9 and Old Mill Road. Hard copies of the November 18, 2015 letter from the township engineer to the NJDOT Bureau of Traffic Engineering have been forwarded to the township clerk's office for distribution and to the council. Again, this intersection has proven to be dangerous over the last 2 years. We've had a number of incidents, close calls. We've had a pedestrian fatality at this intersection. So we believe, and again, we have committed to 25% of any improvement that happens at this intersection. I'd like to thank the engineering department for providing those letters. Item number 3, New Jersey Government Energy Aggregation GEA program. On November 20th, 2015, the township received comments on the draft opt-out public notice for an Old Bridge Community Energy Aggregation program from the State of New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel. The suggested revisions are under review by Gable Associates. Hard copies of the November 20th, 2015 letter from Division of Rate Counsel Director have been forwarded to the Township Clerk's Office for distribution to Council. This will be moving forward sometime next year, and as at the last council meeting, we had heard the savings that are going to be made available to our residents here in Old Bridge. New Jersey Department of Transportation, NJDOT, Municipal Aid Program, Texas Road Resurfacing Project. On November 24th, 2015, the township received 7 bids for the Texas Road Resurfacing Project. The bid ranged in price from $278,141 to $341,305.10. A resolution awarding the contract for the project will be included on the consent agenda for the December 14th council meeting. Again, another resurfacing project here in Old Bridge scheduled to be done in the spring. Operation Beachhead skating event, one of my favorites. On December 1st, Operation Beachhead will be sponsoring another sled hockey event and luncheon at the John Piccolo Ice Arena. Operation Beachhead is a not-for-profit organization that provides recreational activities for disabled veterans, active military personnel, and their families. For additional information about Operation Beachhead, the Ice Arena, or other upcoming recreation activities, events, and programs, residents should contact the Department of Parks and Recreation at the phone numbers or visit the township website. Fall curbside leaf collection. The third and final round of leaf collection is scheduled to begin on December 3rd. For additional information, residents should contact the Department of Public Works at 732-721-5600, extension 6140, or visit the township website, again, oldbridge.com. Item number 7, special curbside electronic waste pickup day. On December 5th, the Department of Public Works will be picking up customer electronic waste, including old computers, monitors, printers, and televisions. For additional information or to schedule an appointment for curbside pickup, residents should contact the Department of Public Works, again, at 732-721-5600, extension 6140, or visit the township website. We've had a pretty good turnout for this so far. We have a number of people have called, and we're going to pick this equipment up. Annual Pearl Harbor Remembrance Ceremony on December 7th, 2015. The township will be remembering Pearl Harbor with their wreath-laying ceremony at the Senior Center. The event will start at 10:30 a.m. For additional information, residents should contact my office at 732-721-5600, extension 2040 for any type of information. I would ask the council, please join me if you can. Accelerated tax sales. The annual tax sale is scheduled for December 16th, 2015. For additional information, residents should contact the Office of the Tax Collector, 732-721-5600, extension 2999. Auxiliary police officers. The Old Bridge Police Department is currently seeking volunteers to serve as auxiliary police officers. Applicants will be accepted through December 31st. For additional information, residents should contact OBPD Administration, 732-721-5600, extension 3150, or visit the township website. I certainly encourage anyone, if they can volunteer for Auxiliary Police Department. We have a fantastic auxiliary unit, and I think everyone would enjoy serving on that unit. Council, that's all I have. If anyone has any questions, I will try to answer. If not, we will get you the information as soon as possible. Any issues?
One question, please. On number one, Mayor, do you know how far up the list we are now for the light at 34 and Amboy?
I don't have an accurate number, Mr. Cahill. I believe we were like number 123 4 years ago.
I know we've gone up a lot.
I don't know. And the last time we asked for this same analysis, a number of years ago, they relied on restriping the intersection. That's the last time the traffic was, I believe there was a left
Right.
turn lane made.
Yeah, they said
That
it
was
was
their
like-
fix at that time.
that was 3 years
We're
ago.
hoping with the new traffic counts that now they would come up with a more extensive improvement. That's our goal.
Yeah, we tried to stress the point that there are a lot of accidents away from there that are caused because people are avoiding the intersection.
We've supplied
Yes.
the organization with all our police reports from that area.
Thank you very much for continuing on, despite
every
the
year, Mrs.
time frame.
Sullivan, and we will
And thank you,
continue.
Nicole, because
I can guarantee for another 4 years we'll be.
When this all started, I teased I was 30, and I'm not kidding. This is like a long, long time ago. And my husband worked on this project as well for many years. And to try once again, I think it's great that we're going to try and do this again. It's very important.
It
It's
was one of
very
the more better prepared letters that I've seen
Yeah,
going out.
absolutely. But it's something that really I think people on that side of town will be absolutely thrilled if we could have it done.
I mean, it's the nightmare of getting out all over there.
And the opportunity exists to do it right this time. The township has acquired land there behind by the storage center, so there's an opportunity to do it right, and hopefully the state will come through for us.
Any other questions for the mayor? Thank you.
I thank you, council. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to accept? Motion by Mr. Cahill, second by Mrs. Sohor. Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Rosencrans?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
Next, the consent agenda, C1 through C5. Does anyone need to separate anything?
I'll move the balance if there's no separations.
Motion to move the balance by Mr. Cahill.
I'm sorry, I did want to separate C5.
C5.
I'll rescind my
Okay.
motion.
All right. Any other separations? Okay. Do I have a motion to move C1 through C4?
Motion to move C1 through C4.
Motion made by Mr. Cahill, second by Mrs. Sohor. Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrans?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
C5, Mrs. Panos.
Yes, on the council meeting schedule, the first one says January 1st to January 4th. Do we have to determine that before we vote on the meeting?
Yeah, January 1st.
We had it's January 1st.
Okay, thank you.
January 4th for you.
Okay, good, that was my question.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we're good then. Do I have a motion to move C5?
You're being mean.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mrs. Sohor,
Second.
second by Mr. Cahill. Roll call?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrans?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
Public comments on any subject. I'd like to open it to the public again. Oh, they didn't tell me that.
Yes, Anita Greenberg Belli. I'd like to make a comment again. I think it's that Mr. Rosencrantz found that code after all these years, 2 years of serving on the board and multiple vacancies on multiple boards. And I just find it very peculiar that you found it at this time, especially and I think you found it for one specific thing, instead of not applying it before, where I didn't hear you bring it up for other vacancies that were on board. And with doing that, I do have to add that we did have a talk down at the League of Municipalities, and you told me you had 5 votes. So that's where the suspicion, and that's when I got upset, because this is open government, and it should wait to January 1st, and that's when the new appointment will take place, January 1st or after that. Thank you.
Here from the public wish to speak? I'll close the public portion. We have several discussion ordinance tonight, D1 through D4. Well, one ordinance, 3 resolutions, but they're all together. So Mr. Shaw is going to briefly give us an overview of all of them, and first.
Thank you, Council President. I'm just going to preface that none of this, the ordinance or 3 resolution, does, by the way of introduction tonight, does not take in effect until 2 things. On December 14th, the ordinance is up for adoptions, obviously after the public hearing and discussion. And also, before December 14th, a local finance board will do the ruling, and if they rule against it, then we will not be able to proceed with it. So this is not a final decision. This is just an introduction. Just to preface, we're a member of, currently we're a member of a Central Jersey GIF insurance for our liability insurance and workers' comp. Those are the 2 major coverage through them. And I believe we've been members since late 90s, early 2000. I'm pretty sure it's late 90s. Since 2007, the fund generated some deficit over the years, and its accumulated deficit is for the Old Bridge share is about $1 million, which is what the authorization would be to finance that and pay off the debt. And the reason we consider this option is that we're looking into reviewing other GIP's proposal. We actually have a meeting tomorrow, so we'll have more information on 14th for that, to see if we can generate, savings, savings for the future. And so, since we have to pay this debt to the, Central Jersey GIF, or we finance that and pay off the Central Jersey GIF, and then we pay off the debt through our, we pay off our borrowing. So that's basically paying off that debt is require us to pay one way or another. Currently, they are incorporated into our annual assessment from the GIF. So we're looking to see if we can save money for the town, and by doing this, either way, if we can save the money, it's worth taking this approach and getting out of the Central Jersey GIF and going to another GIF. If it's not possible, if the savings is not sufficient, then obviously our recommendation would be against it. So hopefully that's a brief explanation, because we're in negotiation. I don't want to go in more detail about the negotiation.
Can I just put it in my words so I understand? So basically what we're saying is we want to move this because we want to be able to have our due diligence done in case the state comes back and says they agree with our philosophy about the GIF.
That's correct.
Is that basically what we're saying?
Yes, that's, and in order for local finance board to hear our appeal, we need that approval from the council.
And it's more of it's a timing matter. We have to.
Correct.
Council, just so that the administration, that we have the tools we need to act in the best interest of the taxpayers.
Right.
We need to have this available, otherwise those options are gone.
Right.
And all we want is the opportunity to perhaps use these tools should we need them.
And there's a timing issue too. If we
Yes.
don't move it tonight, the 14th becomes a critical date of the next meeting, right? So that's the urgency with the
Gone into
potentially moving it
details in the
tonight.
executive session after the last council meeting, and what we were trying to accomplish, and this will help us to try to accomplish, in insurance, if possible.
The first one is a D1, the bond ordinance. I'm going to read that, and ask that we could have a motion to move it to first reading. Bond ordinance, refunding bond ordinance, providing for the refunding of emergency appropriations related to payment of supplemental assessments due and owing to Central Joint Insurance Fund as a result of the election to withdraw from said fund in and by the Township of Old Bridge appropriation $1 million, and authorize issuance of $1 million bonds or notes for financing. Do I have a motion to move this for first reading?
Make a motion to move it to first reading.
Motion by
second.
Mr. Cahill, seconded by Mrs. Panos. Roll call.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
Now I'm going to read the next 3 resolutions. D2, resolution of the Township of Old Bridge authorizing the application for funding bond ordinance to be filed with the local finance board pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-51, with respect to refunding emergency notes in connection with payments to be made as a result of the withdrawal from the Central Jersey Joint Insurance Fund. D3, resolution authorizing, we were going to put them together. He said we can move them together. Resolution authorizing emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-46 and NJSA 40A:4-48 due to payment of supplemental assessments due and owing to Central Jersey Insurance Fund as a result of the Township of Old Bridge election to withdraw from said fund. D4, resolution authorizing sale of notes for emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-51 due to payment of supplemental assessments due and owing to Central Jersey Joint Insurance Fund as a result of the Township of Old Bridge election to withdraw from said fund. Now, we can move the three of these together. Do I,
Motion to move D2, D3, D4 together. It's a first reading.
motion by Mr. Cahill to move for first reading, seconded by Mrs. Sohor. Roll call?
Not being moved.
Oh, not first reading, they're voted on. These are resolutions, vote on. Yes.
Yep, pardon me.
Does anyone here from the public wish to speak on any of these? Okay, I'll close the public portion.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes.
Last, council member comments. Do we have any comments?
Yep.
Yes.
So at the last meeting, we discussed the Ethics Board, moving the Ethics Board from the Township of Old Bridge to the state. I know that there was an ordinance that Mr. Lazier gave us tonight, so I would ask that it be placed on the December 14th agenda. That's the next meeting, right?
Oh, it can. It has to wait till January. It will make the timing.
Oh, okay.
We have to wait till January?
Gotcha,
Yes.
okay. So would it be at the reorg then?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, so I would ask that it be placed on that agenda.
Yes.
Everybody has it, so we can read it and make sure we're good with it,
Yes.
and move forward.
And then the public gets a chance to review it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council member comments? No?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion made by Mr. Cahill to adjourn, seconded by Mrs. Sohor. Roll call.
Dr. Anderson? Yes. Mr. Cahill?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis? Yes. Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. President Walker?
Yes.
7 yes. Wow.
Wow.